With respect to preparation and the material required and how to go about it, how much time you're going to take to study, from where you're supposed to be studying, what books and resources are going to be needed, I'll just have a very quick discussion on the same. So firstly, what are the things you'll be needing is, one, your textbooks. You'll be needing your Schweizer textbooks. Schweizer textbooks, calculator. When you're talking about the Schweizer textbooks, that is the most commonly used resource for CFA and FRM curriculum. So we'll be sticking to Schweizer textbooks. We will not be providing you the Schweizer textbooks for the classes. You will have to purchase it on your own separately. In order to connect you to the bookseller, we will help you with that. We'll give you the numbers and all that you need to ping, and they will give you the bookseller's number and all of that. So we'll help you with that. You won't have a problem. And it's going to be very nominal. So you don't need to worry about it also. The cost of Schweizer textbooks is going to be extremely nominal. You don't even have to worry about it. The calculator, so Schweizer textbooks will be 5 textbooks they will provide, and they will give you 2 practice books. So 5 textbooks will be covering all these 10 subjects. I've told you book 1, book 2, book 3, book 4 and book 5. So the 5 textbooks are going to be covering about 60 readings of these, divided into 18 study sessions. Study session is nothing but groups of chapters together. So 6-7 chapters is one group, one study session. 6-7 chapters is one group, one study session. So they've just grouped those chapters together into study sessions. So 5 books is going to be covering your entire curriculum. Every single reading will be divided into LOSs, that is the subheadings which the institute has divided and defined, so that we have a very well-defined curriculum, so it becomes easier for us. So 5 textbooks are going to be there, and 2 practice books will be there, which will have 6 morning afternoon papers. So technically 12 papers of 120 questions each. So you'll have about 12 papers of 120 questions each, because 6 papers morning and afternoon both. So 12 papers of 120 questions is going to be given in 2 practice books. So I'm telling you what resources are there, and then I'll tell you in what order you have to study. The next thing you will need is the calculator. Now the calculator, you will need TI-BA 2+. TI stands for Texas Instruments. There are only 2 calculators allowed by the institute. One is a TI-BA 2+, and the other one is an HP calculator. We don't go with the HP calculator. I'll not discuss anything with respect to that. The best calculator that we use is TI-BA 2+. There are 2 versions of this calculator, TI-BA 2+ and TI-BA 2+ Professional. So either this is the calculator or TI-BA 2+ Professional. The first calculator is going to be costing you somewhere close to 2,500 rupees. You can order it from Amazon, Flipkart and all. And in case you don't want to order it online, the bookseller can also give it to you. We'll give you the numbers and everything. You can ping and get the details of the bookseller. So Texas Instrument BA 2+ is going to cost you around 2,500. It is going to be a synthetic plastic body calculator. And the other alternative is Texas Instrument BA 2+ Professional. That is going to cost you somewhere around 3,500 rupees. And it is just that it is a metal body. Mine is pretty old one that I've been using for almost a decade now. But it's going to be black in color, the new version that they have. Both the calculators, TI-BA 2+ and Professional, plastic body, metal body, they have the same buttons. All the buttons are going to be exactly the same. Within the button, there are 2 functionalities which are not there in the plus version. It is there only in the Professional version. But most of my students, more than majority, most of the students use this one and not this one. Those 2 functionalities can be easily done on this calculator also. The 2 functionalities which are missing in this calculator can also be done using this calculator. Maybe you'll have to press 2-3 buttons extra. So you don't need to buy this. You can buy this. If you want, you can spend a little extra and buy this also. Both these calculators are allowed by the institute. There is no other calculator that is going to work. You have to buy this calculator. Scientific calculator will not work. This is a financial calculator. You can immediately calculate present values, IRRs and all of those things. So there are good number of functions. There is a 1.5 hour video on how to use the calculator. So once you start off, you don't have to watch it immediately because you don't know the terms right now. So once we start studying with quants, I always start with quants, because quant subject is going to be related, other subjects are going to need basics of quants in places. So I always start off with quants. So once we are somewhere in the middle of quants, you'll start getting used to the calculator, and there is a calculator video on the YouTube also. You can watch that. It's the same class. So TI BA 2 Plus or the TI BA 2 Plus Professional, one of these calculators will be needed. With respect to issues, make sure that you're buying a calculator with warranty, because I've had students who had an issue with the calculator, a couple of them, like maybe 1 out of 100, but then it is going to be much more expensive to get things replaced and all that if you don't have a warranty. So spend extra few hundred if it's needed, but please make sure you buy a calculator with a warranty. This is just on the basis of the experience of the students that I'm telling you. So that calculator is going to be needed. The next set of resource is going to be the institute's material. Now what happens is, when you're registering for the CFA curriculum exam, CFA exam on the institute's website, you will have to purchase the CFA institute's material. They will charge you around $200 to $250 or so extra, and you have to purchase that. There are two options to purchase. One is going to be the e-version and one is going to be the print version. So e-version is going to cost you maybe $200 to $250, which is inclusive in the cost of the registration. And for a print version that will be couriered to you, you will have to shell out another $200, $300 or so. Print version is absolutely not needed. So please, this is mandatory. You'll have to pay for it. Therefore, you have to get it. So you have to pay for it. So you get this one. With respect to the institute material, now institute material is going to be extremely extensive. So it is not possible to actually go through the entire institute's material. Now you might want to do the institute's material. A lot of students have seen they want to start with institute's material, but eventually I've seen that they kind of give up on the institute material and shift to Schweizer. So ultimately for our classes also, we'll be studying with Schweizer only. The exam will be covered, the entire exam content, whatever questions you're going to get is going to be covered in Schweizer. It's a professional exam. Out of 120 questions, if you get one question which is kind of seeming to be out of context, that is another case. But other than that, 99% all the questions are going to be from Schweizer itself. It is very difficult to prepare from the institute material because it is extremely extensive. We don't study from the institute's material. What we do is, behind every chapter, the institute's material is called bookshelf, and behind every chapter, now you can access the institute's material on your phone, on your tablet, on your laptop. So the e-version is going to be available on 3 devices: phone, tablet and laptop. So you can access it anywhere. Behind every chapter, there are certain questions. Those questions is what we are going to practice. So for the studying part, we are going to stick to Schweizer, but for the practicing part, we are going to try and prioritize all the institute's resources. So for the practice part, we will be doing the bookshelf questions. Now it becomes a little difficult and the reading speed is lower when you're trying to practice it online. For those who want to practice it online, that is fine. For those who want to practice it on the paper format because it's easier, it saves you a lot of time, you can print just the question part of the bookshelf, and that will be relatively cheaper. Also, if you want, I can connect you again to the bookseller. He can just give you the question part of the bookshelf. So you can get just the questions part is what you need to practice. The next thing is, institute on its own website also, you will have institute's test yourself section. So once you have registered for the institute for the exam, you will be accessing the institute's test yourself section, wherein a lot of practice questions and all are given. In that area, you can do a lot of practice over there, and that will tell you also your score with respect to other students who have registered and who are giving the exam on the website. Now again, it takes a lot of time to practice online, so I personally don't like to practice online. I like to practice on the pen and paper. So I kind of ignore this part. Then the institute gives you mock papers. There will be about 1,000 questions or so that the institute releases just 1 month or 1.5 months before the exam. That practice we can do it then. Other than that, institute gives us 2 mock papers just before the exam, 1 month before the exam. So suppose you are giving the exam in December 2018 or December 2019. So 1 month before the exam date, you will be giving those 2 mock papers in the class itself over here. So that there is an exam environment kind of a thing. And once you have completed the exam, you can have a discussion, scores and all those things we take care of. So those 2 mock papers you will give in an exam environment. For the video students, those 2 papers you'll have to give it at home, and make sure you have to time it within your 3 hours. So you have to time yourself at 3 hours and give that exam at home. Other than that, I will be providing a mock book for each of the 3 levels. So CFA level 1, 2 or 3, whichever it is, you will be getting a mock book that needs to be completed. So, and then Schweizer also has got its own 2 practice books. there are questions behind the chapter in the textbook also. Those behind the chapter questions we don't even count in practice. That is like a given. You'll take hardly 5 minutes after every chapter to do those 15-20 MCQs. So that we are not kind of counting in practice, that by default you are doing. Then Schweizer also gives you a CD of questions which has about more than 3,000, 4,000 questions or so. Now you obviously, and then there are so many apps and this and that which is giving you so many questions. Now it is not possible to do 10,000 questions. You have to understand. Infinite resources are available. So we don't want to bombard you with resources that I will give you 10 mock papers and 20 mock papers and all of that, because it is not practical. You have to understand. There is infinite resources available online. So what we will do is we need to prioritize what to practice and in what order to practice. Everybody will have their own time frames and their own schedules. Students will have more time probably, working professional little less time. Some people will be starting earlier, some people will be starting late. So everybody will have their own timing. So everybody will have a different frame of practice that they will be able to do. What we do is, for the live students we cover it over here, for the video students the same part is available. I'll tell you exactly how the live students get the classes and the video students have the classes. So what happens is, I have a few classes, how exactly you are supposed to be studying. We'll spend half an hour, I'll explain to you how exactly you start studying. I do this after 2-3 chapters are done, so that at least you've seen the book, you've seen the chapter, you'll understand how exactly you're supposed to be studying. So after 3-4 chapters are done, you will do this part with me. How to practice, so I will tell you exactly how you're supposed to be practicing, in what order you're supposed to be practicing. Then 1 month before the exam, I'll tell you exactly how you're supposed to be revising. And 15 days before the exam, you're supposed to be how to exactly attempt your paper. So these 4 things we will cover separately, and in details I'll explain it to you. What we will do is, in general, we will need to understand, okay, these are the number of days I have. So I have, let's say, 4 months. So I have 4 into 30, 120 days. Let me keep aside 30 days or 20 days separate. Let's say I'll keep 30 days. Let me start a little optimistically. So 30 days separated, I've got 90 days left. 90 days I need to prepare 60 chapters. That means in 90 days I have to do 60 chapters. That is 2 days, in 3 days, 1.5 days per chapter is what I have. So let's say I'll do 1 chapter in a day and half a day I'll be doing practice. So whatever amount of practice I'll be able to do, I'll do in that half day. Usse zyada more than that is not possible, because completing the syllabus is important. So I will tell you exactly how to go about it once we start off. I will give you a scheduler also. So you just need to put today's date, like I'll give you an Excel file, I'll give you a scheduler. You'll put in today's date and it will tell you in which week what are the subjects you need to study and how much you need to prepare. And as you keep on updating what part is done, it will keep on updating your schedule also. So you'll get all of those things, how many days you're allotting to revision and all. And I'll tell you the priority list. Like say for example, you complete my book. So those who have more time, they will do the institute's back questions with the syllabus and my mock book with the syllabus. Once the syllabus is over, then they will practice, let's say, the mock papers of the institute. Suppose someone has less time, so they will do bookshelf only with the preparation, and once the preparation is over, with revision they will do my mock book. Suppose someone has even a little lesser time, then they will do the chapters with me with the classes, and they will do my mock book only. My mock book is subject wise, not chapter wise, right? And the bookshelf is going to give you questions chapter wise. And then after that is done, then they will get into something. So Schweizer CD, so definitely we are not doing. Definitely we are not going to be doing this. Out of the 2 practice book 1 and book 2, book 1 is easier, we will not do this. Book 2 is relatively better. This is also going to be one of our last priorities. Our priority is going to be to cover as much practice material from institute. So the bottom line is, you study from Schweizer and you practice from institute material, done. After you are done with this, then you tell me what more to do. So when I'm doing how to practice, I'll tell you in which order to practice, how to practice, which is the first priority, second priority. So I'll cover everything for everybody. So you don't have to you'll have no questions after that. Don't worry about it. So practicing part, I'll tell you. So what you need to do is, you need to buy the calculator. You need to buy Schweizer books. It's going to be very nominal. I'll give you the number. You can just connect with the bookseller and get the material. And e-version is what you'll buy for the institute's material. If you want to buy the print version, it's your choice. You'll have to pay a little extra, but you won't need it. And for the back questions, you can again get the prints. Again, I'll connect you with the bookseller and you can just have it on your own. I will not be providing the institute resources, and I will not be providing the Schweizer or the calculator, because that is not mine to give. I will tell you what are the things we'll be providing. My mock book will be given to you. And the mock book that I'll be giving is based on the past year's mock papers of the institute. So that is institute resources. And I'll tell you exactly in which order to practice what. So that will be clear once we start off. So in order to purchase, so when you're purchasing, you need to purchase Schweizer, you need to purchase the calculator, and my personal advice would be that bookshelf back questions, hard copy you purchase. Just the bookshelves, back questions, hard copy. That you should. Otherwise you can do it online. Everybody will have the access online because once you register with the institute. Now, just a second. Yeah. Sorry. So the next part is, that is with respect to what are the things you will be needing it, how exactly to practice and all we'll cover later. Unlimited resources are there online. So again I'm telling you, prioritize first, complete all the practice of institute resources and study from here. It is going to serve the purpose. Along with that, then how many hours is needed to study? That is another question that I get. So when you're talking about the classes, it's going to be somewhere approximately 180 hours or so. So we will have about 180 hours of classes for level 1. Level 2, level 3, it is somewhere around 170 for level 2 and 150 for level 3. It's about 180 hours for the classes. Along with that, we do the revision in the last 1 month, that is 1 month before the exam. That could be around another 20 to 30 hours for sure. Then with respect to timing to prepare, so suppose again if I have 3 months to prepare or 4 months to prepare, I have about 120 days. So in 120 days I need to do 180 hours of lecture. So that means 1.5 hours per day on an average. And then studying that part. The way you are supposed to be studying is, I watch once, I attend, or for the video students they watch. So you watch a class, you complete 1 chapter's video, then you study that 1 chapter from Schweizer very well. You make your short notes, in the book itself, and then you practice that. And then you start another chapter, you watch the class or attend the class, then you are studying that by yourself, and then you are practicing that. My sincere advice would be not to just watch the classes or attend the classes and start studying 3 months later. Don't do that. You watch the class or attend the class and parallelly you study with me and practice with me. Now the proportion of practice will vary from person to person depending on the time frame that you have. But studying and practicing with me has to be maintained. Schedule and all, I'll tell you exactly how to schedule. I'll tell you later once we start off with the curriculum, I'll tell you how to exactly schedule. You will be given a scheduler. So scheduler would be, you'll be given exactly in which order, which chapters needs to be studied. Because there is a lot of connection between these two, between these three, between this one and this one, between quants and fixed income, quants and portfolio, quants and corporate finance. So there is a particular order of study. I'll provide it to you. You need to follow that order of study for the live students as well as video students. For some people who want to modify a little bit, economics is kind of a standalone subject. So you can do economics whenever you feel like. You can do FRA whenever you feel like. You can do alternate investments and ethics whenever you feel like. So when you're looking at ethics, economics, alternate investments, FRA. So these 4 subjects are not going to be very much related to anything else. But even otherwise, so this you can modify the order a little bit. But I have put in a lot of thought when I give you the order of study. So please make sure you stick to that. Because I try to alternate between theory, practical, and so it's not getting boring, and which one has more attention that I'll do early, which has less retention I'll try to do it later so that it's closer to the exam. So a lot of thought has been put into it. So please try to stick to the order of study I'm giving. Otherwise, even if you want to make a little bit of modification, these are the 4 subjects that you can try to modify a bit. But other than that, try to stick to the order that I'm providing it to you. So order of study and the scheduler will be given. So you can just put in the date today. You can just put in the date of the exam. You can just put in, I need 15 days of revision, and it will give you a weekly bifurcation of which week you are supposed to be studying what. You will be given a performance tracker also. So performance tracker, scheduler and order of study, what I've done is I've combined the 3 into one single one. So basically performance tracker is that how much is completed, you keep on ticking it. So for the live students, what I do is, I am a little nagging in that way. So in almost every 2-3 weeks or something, or if I see someone who's bunking a little too much, so after a month or so, I'll just ask you guys that, I need the tracker in the class, and I actually check, I actually see what is your situation. So tracker is nothing, you just keep on ticking what work has been done. So I know that these are the chapters done, these are the studies that has been done, this is the practice that has been done. And in the tracker, the order is also provided. So I have done dark grey, light grey and all. I've highlighted the cells that practice for this one from bookshelf is important, this one from bookshelf is a little less important. So all those instructions are given. So it is light grey is less important, dark grey would be more important. So I filled up the tracker that way. So you will understand, all the instructions are given over there. You will see that, you will understand exactly how you need to fill it up. I try to do that because it's very important for you to clear. I am also putting in a lot of hard work with you guys. So it is my responsibility also that you guys are through. With the video students, of course, I keep on putting in a lot of voice notes. So everybody is a part of a WhatsApp group. So for all the video students, what I do is I keep on putting in a voice note. Like yesterday we had a mock test over here. So in the video group, in the video students group, I put in a voice note that this was the exam taken today. You give it at home. This was the kind of average score that we people got. This is the kind of score that you should target. If you got this score, then you do this. If you got this kind of score, then you do this. So that kind of guidance is there throughout. So that is going to be there. Along with that, I don't like to dictate total 100% notes and make you write everything in the class, because it will be just a waste of time. So what I try to do is, you have a very graphic memory. So studying from one place is very important. Don't try to study the same chapter from 20 different places. So what we do is, you'll be studying from CIRA books. Whatever extra notes you have to write, I'll try to make you write in the book itself. If there is any extra handouts, there are quite a few chapters for which some handouts are needed. So I'll give you those. Like FRA first chapter, you don't have to do from the book. I'll give you a handout, I'll give you 4-5 pages, you'll be able to do it from there. So all the handouts together will be provided to you. So those handouts will be needed, CIRA books will be needed. If I have to make you write something extra, I'll make you write in the class. Try to use color pens and all. Study like a kid. I always say, no matter what level of studies you're getting into, what level of professional courses you're cracking, always study like a kid. It always helps. Whatever way you have been studying. So that's about your notes. Handouts will be given. Mind maps will be given to you. So kind of a summary kind of a thing, which is going to be very useful in the last 10 days of the exam. So mind maps for all the chapters will be provided to you. So you can easily revise it through that. Scheduler I've told you. Order of study I've told you. Just a second if I'm left with anything. For the people who are working, for the working professionals, there are good number of working professionals who are cracking exams like CFA, FRM and all. It becomes a little difficult to manage with work. A few ideas I can just give it to you right away. One is that study before the office hours and not after getting back from office. You have to start studying in the morning. That is one very useful trick which I've seen a good number of students of mine applying, and that is working really well. Because after the office you're exhausted, you're tired, you'll not be able to give that kind of focus, attention and all. Saturday, Sunday, like what I've seen with students is that on Saturday and Sunday they are doing like 4-5 hours worth of classes. Monday to Friday, they are doing their studying and practice in the morning before office. Now, if you want something, if you want a raise, if you want a promotion, if you want a shift in your job profile or whatever, you will have to put in that extra work. Without pain, you're not going to gain anything. So you have to put in. If you want something, you'll have to put in that extra effort. So that's up to you. I know it is very difficult to manage, work and studies together, and then the family pressure is there, obligations are there. So I know, I understand it gets quite difficult, but if a good number of people are managing, so why can't you manage? If everybody else is able to do it, why won't you be able to do? So getting up in the morning early and doing 3-4 hours of study early in the morning actually is very, very helpful. And you'll have to cut down on a little bit of socializing and all that for a while, but it's possible. It's very much possible. So you have to structure, like I'll be doing the studying part on Saturday, Sunday, or maybe I'll do the watching the class on Monday to Friday, and Saturday, Sunday I'll sit down for the entire day and I'll study by myself, or I'll study the entire Saturday and Sunday I'll go out. So you'll have to structure it yourself as to how you're going to manage it. But studying before the office hours is going to be much, much easier. It's going to be very helpful. A couple of, lot of productivity tips and all, I'll keep on giving it to you in the class. While I'm teaching, I'll keep on giving you those TED videos and this and that and all. I keep on sharing a lot of articles on the groups and all also. Like one trick is getting up at the same time every day. It increases your productivity. So if you think that Saturday I'll get up very late, Sunday I'll get up very late, and Monday again I'm going to get up early, it's not going to help. That will reduce your productivity very badly. So getting up at the same time every day is going to increase your productivity. So I'll keep on giving you these tricks as and when we go through the classes and all. So that's going to be helping you. Some people not agreeing with me. Anyways, so I've told you what online resources are there. Don't get distracted. We also have got this page called Curious Questions Corner on Facebook. So we try to put up, those questions which seems to be a little offbeat compared to CIRA. We try to put it up on the page so you can keep on solving those questions. But anyways, I mean, that's just something else. Yeah, I think I've told you more or less how you're supposed to go about with your preparation. And everything else, I'll keep on giving it to you as and when needed. So you don't have to worry. The details of how exactly you're supposed to be studying and all will be shared.